Atopic dermatitis is a chronic form of eczema. We know that an estimated 1.6 million adults currently suffer from the moderate to severe uncontrolled form of atopic dermatitis. It's an immunologic condition with a genetic component for many people as well. What we see is initially someone who comes in with just really an unbearable itch. It can feel so strong that the itch feels like a burn. It can be painful. You can't resist but scratching at it, and that brings on the rash. The rash looks like redness and thickening of the skin, along with crusting, oozing. This can happen at any age and anywhere on the body. So for some people, it may start in childhood and they just either outgrow it or don't outgrow it as an adult. But for many people, it starts in adulthood. What happens is that because it's a chronic condition that's uncomfortable but also unsightly, many people who are suffering from this don't want to go out in public more than they have to. They won't go on job interviews or dates. They look for ways to cover and conceal instead of expressing themselves in the way that they're meant to. We know that there's triggers for it. So things like stress can be a very strong trigger. Even though it's not a cause, it may be a trigger. Things like the environment, whether it's the time of year, hot and humid weather for some, the dry, cold winters for others. But that itch scratch cycle, that rash, can be very, very difficult to manage. It's important to know that if you're suffering from this, you're not alone. There's a lot that you can do, and your dermatologist can help with evaluating you, making the diagnosis, and coming up with an approach and a treatment plan to help you manage the flares, minimize how long the flares last, and try to increase the time between flares as much as possible. And because it's an area of such active research, and we're finding out so much more about the pathways of the immune system that aren't working properly, we're hoping to come with better and better treatments to help manage this condition. So stay close to your dermatologist, get regular skin checks, and know that there's a lot that you can do to help manage it as well. Another really great resource is you can go to the website understandad.com. There you can find out so much about Elizabeth Faulkner's story. She's an outstanding chef and world-famous chef on many TV shows. She shares her story there so you can really see how someone can persevere and power through even when they're suffering from atopic dermatitis. There's also a lot about the science and the facts of atopic dermatitis, so you can kind of see if this describes you or a family member and hopefully find the resources to get help for this condition.